Hey! Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, talking about that Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And today, we're going over the custom servers, what we know about them up to this point for April, I should say the tail end of April 2022. Some of this will be review, some of this is new stuff. We got some little tidbits of information out of the official Discord, so we thought we'd share them with everybody. All right, let's go. All right, so first and foremost, one of the biggest questions is, are you able to say anything? Somebody asked, Pedro says, are you able to say anything about community servers? And Pedro said, what I shared before, the team is still working on memory optimization. It takes time, but we're making progress. Okay, so no official word, right? All right, so the next piece that we got here is, I must ask, what is the admin going to look like for community servers? And Pedro says, I don't know yet. I need to have a look myself. What I do know is that we're trying to bring as much as possible from what we know about the community server. I'm sorry, for as much as possible from what we know the community wants. Some of the features might not be available right away, but with the release, we can definitely keep on adding it over time. So that's really interesting because, you know, if we look at this, I'm sure we'll come back to this as well, but if you look at, we had a little splash screen when the game first started that showed some of the different features that we could potentially have. I'm sure we'll have these and we'll have additional things, but it was just interesting to see that we had some preset kits, and it looks like there were 2 different price points. Again, a lot of this can change. There can be some additions, there can be some removals, so just keep that in mind. And this was on the PlayStation 4. This was that little splash we got in the very beginning. It looks like we have different sizes and seeds and whatnot, so that was kind of interesting. Let's keep moving forward here. We also have, how long is the time frame for stuff like that? It says they were supposed to be out, I think this guy said something like a week afterwards. He says, it's impossible for me to give you a date or do an estimation of how long it will take at the moment. It says, but what I can say is that we are working hard on it. So again, you know, kind of vague, but also saying that there's been progress. Kind of what we already know. I know for a while there was some rumblings that potentially custom servers could brink here at the end of April. I don't know how valid that is, though. I'm not seeing enough evidence to really back that up. But, I mean, who knows, right? Like, I could say it's like 50-50, but I'm not seeing enough about it yet. But we do know that we've already had a delay for the fishing village and the fishing itself. And they are talking about doing something cool by the end of, or potentially something for the anniversary. And we are going to get a dev block. So hopefully we hear something a bit more official on the custom servers. It is going to be great. It's going to usher in lots of different things. It says, Pedro, while the community servers are being worked on, is there any talk on custom duo, or I'm sorry, yeah, solo duo trio servers? It says, I'm not hopeful that they will not, I'm sorry, it says, I'm hopeful that they will not take another year. It says the solo duo trio idea was already suggested, but I could bring it up to the team again tomorrow morning. Because people are asking about specifically having servers like that. But I do know most of the time, I know that most of this is, because again, they're talking about community servers, but solo duo trio servers are going to be a thing. PvE servers will be a thing. But they do have to be administered and maintained by an admin team or admin over time, because you need to catch people doing the solo duo trio stuff. But there has been some good suggestions. Hang on. Excuse me. There have been some good suggestions that solo duo trio servers could potentially have, or at least the solo servers would have just the solo locks, and that's it. There are a couple other good suggestions along those lines, but yeah, it's mostly going to be the community server type stuff, because that's the way it is over on PC. That makes the most sense. We're going to have to be driven by the admins themselves. And I thought this was interesting too. This brings up a couple different things. Somebody was asking, it would be cool to have streams like, remember the offline TV? Was it OTV? They did stuff like that, and then Pedro was agreeing. Says, yeah, it could be fun. It says, do some community events live. We have done plenty of community events already over on the Rust Console Edition, but I thought it would be cool, because this is something we did over on the PC side, is we created a combat arena, and we would just combat each other. And I know we're going to do something like that when custom servers do come out. We'll spend the stream building up different arena, and then we'll bring people in, most likely the channel members first, and then we'll do like big old fights on the live stream, which will be really cool. So like an FPS arena, almost identical to the type of stuff we've done on PC, which have been a blast. They're always a ton of fun. Basically, little small four people free for all FFA. So it's been a blast doing that kind of stuff. I just know that we will be running our own BFS custom servers, at least 2 of them. We're going to have a bi-weekly, and then we're going to have an event server, and that event server is going to be hosting stuff like the FPS Arena that we'll be building, and you'll see it all live on stream. So if you're subscribed, good reason to do it. You'll see the notifications for that. Expect that ASAP. We'll be doing that off the gate, or off the rip. And again, those custom servers can bring in different types of build servers. That's what these are here. And, you know, depending on what people host, we'll have all kinds of stuff like that. I do imagine that the target practice and the builders paradise are both going to come to main branch. I just know there's some tweaks still, and I don't think it'll come to main until those tweaks have been made and there's enough stability, because there's still some sound loss that happens when you're on the target practice arena stuff. Yeah, they call it, it's aim training, but it's target practice, so, you know, keep a head out for that. But I mean, if we do get custom servers, we'll try to host stuff like that as well on our event servers. So yeah, that's very exciting. Let's see what else. We talked about the builders. Yeah, so we still have that wipe at the end of the month. I'm sure you guys have already heard about that. We had the delay. What else were they talking about up here? Oh yeah, the solo duo servers. Again, that's got to be driven by, you know, an actual admin team, which will be fun. We'll do stuff like that, but we got to make sure we have enough people manning the and maintaining. So if somebody's like, hey, they're teaming, we can, you know, shut that down ASAP. But that's what we have so far for custom servers. I don't even know if I could really put an estimation out there, because it seems to be all over the board. We do know they've made progress. It sounds like they're going to bring out an iteration, and then it looks like they're gonna work on that from that point forward. From what I can gather, it looks like it's going to be Rust coins and also money. But again, they haven't confirmed that, but I've seen little tidbits of information that's showing that they're trying to make that happen, so we'll have to see. I don't know what the implications are for multi-region. Looks like we're going to have at least 2 categories, standard and performance. Again, one of the reasons why memory is such a big deal is because that's the biggest cost when you're talking about doing server farms. So they got to make sure that it's a reasonable price for, you know, all the different platforms. Again, expect it to be more expensive than the PC counterparts. I could be wrong, but most of the time things like Ark, Conan, what's the other game? I just drew a blank. You know, when you do your own custom servers, they're always a bit more expensive on the console side because you've got the overhead of Sony and Microsoft. They have their whole service on top of that. So, yeah, I mean, just expect a little bit more than usual. And again, if they're saying because the memory, and then that probably is making the price too high. So we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. But it is nice they're kind of cutting it up to standard and performance. They may have more of these. They may have it down to 1. But it looks like the fact that we'll have a choice here kind of keeps things in the more reasonable range. Oh, yeah, the other game was Daisy. But yeah, so, I mean, if you've ever run any of those servers, you know how expensive they can get over time. So, again, no need to actually purchase one as soon as these come out. We'll have at least 2 variations running. And you guys are more than welcome to join that. And then the channel members will get just a little something extra as a thank you. You know, early access to it, or they get to hang with us while we're building the FPS arena and stuff. And probably first dibs on the first couple rounds of combat, that kind of stuff. So that should be fun. We are anxiously awaiting this. This is going to bring in a lot of freshness, a lot of variations, some PvE. I know a lot of people have been looking for that, even some RP. And, you know, just some hot servers with some action, some other servers with RP. It's going to be fantastic. And that's probably the #1 thing I see in all the comments is that people want custom servers to stop the Zergs or just to have solo duo trios. And I get it. One of the most popular variants on PC are bi-weekly standard rules. So, you know, even just for that, to have a wipe cycle that's half a month instead of a full month, which is it honestly feels like the best mix between both worlds. And, you know, you get a hard wipe at the end, like an actual hard wipe, which means blueprints and map, which is the best, the absolute best. I honestly think our monthly servers don't BP wipe enough, as PC servers, monthly servers do hard wipe, blueprint wipe at the end of the month, every month. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So if you found this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. It is much appreciated. If you think this is something you're into, consider dropping that subscribe again. Hopefully we have better news here with the dev blog, or at least some movement as far as to what the next PTB content's going to be, which in turn is going to be our content for main branch. So we're all very excited for custom servers and to see what's next for us on Rust Console Edition. So yeah, I love you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!